First time I went on stage. The next week, my name was on the radio. Come next week, Club Seville, Mike Epps, new comedian, da-da-da-da. So now the whole city coming up to me. Man, I heard you on the radio, you doing your comedy? I said, yeah, I'm doing my comedy thing. I'd invited my mama, my neighborhood, everybody out the next week. I went and got a suit, had the tie, everything. As soon as I walked up in the club, I seen two dudes I owed some money to. I said, oh, Lord. That fucking radio done told everybody to come up here. They like, yeah, I know where to find his ass at that comedy show next week. Two motherfuckers I owe money to, so I'm nervous now. Do you know I went up on that stage and bombed? Everybody booed me off the stage. Wasn't funny. I'll never forget, I'm riding down the street, riding down Michigan Street, and I'm crying, because I'm like, damn, I've been a failure since the first grade. Fuck a life, I've been failing since a baby. You know how that feel to keep failing? So I'm riding out, and I called my baby mama's auntie. She came out and said, Janet, I said, remember you said I can come to Atlanta? I'm ready to get away from here. I'm trying to be a comedian. She said, Mike, I got bad news. I said, what? She said, I got married. She said, I got married. I got a new husband. He's different. He ain't as cool as, I thought he was. I went anyway. I said, fuck that shit. I went and bought a bus ticket from Greyhound. My sister gave me $85 in food stamps. That's when you can rip them out the little book. I had $85 of food stamps, and I had a 38 that had a pen and it fucked up. And it skipped like this. Click, click, wow! Click, 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 wow! So if you stayed for them clicks, it was gonna pop you on the third one. So you can stay there and look at the raggedy ass gun if you want to. It's gonna pop. So by the time I get to Atlanta, I called Janet on the phone. So I said, Janet, I'm in Atlanta. And she said, Mike, it's 3 in the morning. What you doing in Atlanta? I said, I came anyway. She said, I told you couldn't come down. I said, Janet, I tell you what, in the morning, come pick me up and take me to the Salvation Army. This is how I wanted to change my life that bad. That I told her, come pick me up. Take me to the Salvation Army. I'm gonna sleep with the homeless people because I just wanted to get the fuck away from Indiana because I knew I was gonna die or go to prison. I said, I got a talent. I found my talent, which was comedy. I knew I was gonna get down there. So she was riding me, and we riding down 85, and she started crying. And she said, Mike. She said, Mike, I can't take you to the home. I can't take you there. She said, you can come and stay with me. But my husband works second shift. You can't come out the basement till 3 o'clock. So I'm in the basement hiding like Anne Frank. I hear the TV on, I hear people walking, but I can't move yet. About 2 weeks then went past. I just snuck upstairs, man, and he hadn't went to work. I come up out the basement, I got a pair of boxer drawers on and a bowl of cereal. And when he turned around, he said, who the fuck is you? I said, I'm Janet's nephew. He said, I don't know no Janet's nephew. So he called her on the phone. She talked to him, me and him sat down. I said, hey man, I'm just trying to save my life. I told him everything I was trying to do. The man let me live with them for a whole year. Got me a job. So a whole year went past, I got my tax check, and I claimed one of my nephews on it so I can get an extra $500 on there. You know how back in the day you could claim somebody on the check? I claimed my nephew on the taxes, got an extra $500. T.K. Kirkland, a comedian named T.K. Kirkland. You heard of T.K.? T to the motherfucker K? He said, you a bad motherfucker. He said, man, but you ain't gonna make it in Atlanta. I said, where I got to go? He said, you either got to go to Hollywood or New York. I said, I'm going to Hollywood. He said, you ain't ready. He said, you need to move to New York. The next week I was going to New York. He had a manager about this big named Dave Kleeman. Looked like a little Jewish dude, looked like Danny DeVito. I went to New York and I met him at Port Authority. He picked me up, took me all around New York. Started taking me in comedy clubs. The first comedy club I went in, my man Royale, that's directing the show, he was hosting it. It was snow all on the ground. It was right in Brooklyn. After he took me to the comedy club, he said, man, you good, but you need a little work, so you're gonna have to go back to Indiana. I'm sad than a motherfucker. I gotta go back to Indiana. I'm crying, because I know it's over with. I done failed again. On my way back there, every white person got a black friend. Not every white person, but a lot of you motherfuckers got black friends. This little Jewish dude had a black friend named TC. And TC, he said, man, he said, I want to introduce you to somebody, because I was talking shit. I'm from the hood and shit. I done called the white man 3, 4 white mans and all kind of shit. He said, I'm going to introduce you to somebody. So he introduced me to TC. TC was a professional squatter. He knew how to squat. He became friends with real rich white people and squatted their house while they gone out of town. So he was letting me live in these white people's house while they was gone. He's like, you better get out of here by Tuesday. I've been in motherfucking white people's house. Donnie Lalonde, there was a boxer named Donnie Lalonde. I'm in his apartment, right? I'm down in Soho. I'm living in his apartment, but they selling their apartment. I'm laying in the motherfucker on an air mattress. Me and a girl laying in there, and the lady walk in to show somebody the pole. God, I said, yeah, I'm getting out of here. I ain't supposed to be in here. The first show that I ever did in New York was called New York Undercover. I don't know if you remember New York Undercover, but it had Malik Yobo and another little Spanish dude. Yeah, and then I did Showtime at the Apollo. Remember Showtime at the Apollo? But I came as an entertainer. And you know who I was on the show with? Destiny's Child. That's they wasn't even nobody yet. They got out of an old raggedy-ass limo. They walked up in the thing. We was all dusty. I'm telling you some real shit. This early 90s. We all dusty. Ain't nobody got shit. Man, I did the Apollo. Then I got on Def Comedy Jam. I did Def Comedy Jam. Then I got on the Def Comedy Jam tour. I said, oh man, I gotta go now. I got time to go to LA. So I took a bus from New York to LA. Took 7 days to get here. I called a buddy named Red Grant. I said, man, I'm out here. He said, man, I ain't got no furniture in my house, but you come and sleep on my floor. I went over to Red Grant's house, sleeping on his floor. While I'm staying in the apartments, it was apartments called Wasika Trails. I'm living in apartments over at Wasika Trails. I ran into a little young dude, man, but he had a good ass heart. He was a good dude. His name was Marcus. He was telling everybody he was my manager. We riding around and this is my manager. But I didn't know who he was. I didn't know. People was like, you know who that is, though? I said, no, he's nice to me. I don't know what the fuck he doing. Man, we riding around, do a show at the comedy club. We at the Comedy Store. And when I got off stage, Marcus said, man, Ice Cube wanna holler at you. When I turned around, Ice Cube and John Singleton was standing right there. I said, oh, man. Ice Cube said, what up? I said, what's up? He said, can you act? I said, hell yeah, I can act. I started auditioning for the movie. He made me audition for that movie about 7 times. Every time I thought I had the movie, he'd look at me, kept doing like this. Like, you got the movie. And I was looking at him like, thank you. But every time I come back, it was more comedians reading for it. I'm like, oh, he playing with my head. So I got the role. I got the role. I called my mother. My mother was living in some apartments, man. And I called my mother. I said, Mama, what you want? She said, just buy me a washer and dryer. That's all I want. I said, I'm gonna buy your house. She said, no, you're gonna fuck my Social Security up. I get $700 a month. And you're not finna fuck my Social Security up. Because she wouldn't let me give her no check or nothing, because the Social Security people, I had to fold the money up and back into her like this and slide it to her. Sometimes she pulled back. I said, what's wrong? She said, they got ways of finding out everything. I said, Mama, we in the kitchen, fuck Social Security. And I've been sober for 20 years. I've been sober for 20 years. I work with some of the best actors and actresses in the world, you know what I mean? First movie I did was Next Friday. Yeah. The second movie I did was All About the Benjamins. I was on coke by then. I'm in the motherfucking movie. Go watch that movie again. The guy was high in the motherfucking. When I was saying 15, 30, 35, 40, 45, 47. I was on coke like a motherfucker. I did Bernie Mac's last movie, y'all. It was called Soul Man, y'all. I was on the set with Bernie Mac in his last movie, man. Man, you couldn't pay for this shit. And I'm sitting there talking to Bernie Mac, and he had an oxygen tank, man. Yeah, he had an oxygen tape, but one thing I can say about him, he was still having fun. He was still talking shit. He was like, fuck these motherfuckers, punk motherfucker. And I said, Bernie Mac, give me some advice. What's the best advice you can give a young comic? He said, don't do nothing for money. I said, huh? You can't tell no young po-ass comedian that. The next movie I did was Welcome Home, Roscoe Jenkins. Then I did a movie called Jumpin' a Broom. Then I did a movie called Petey Green. You ain't never seen that, have you? Go check it out. Me, Don Cheadle, Taraji, Chiwetel. Go check it out. These are independent films. Then I did another movie with Forrest Whitaker called Vipaka. And I played a nigga in all these movies, y'all. And I got a chance to work with the great Whitney Houston, man. And just coming on the set with her every day was crazy, because she didn't want to fuck with nobody with me. Come on, let's go smoke a cigarette. And me and her on the... This how she was on the side of the building smoking a cigarette like this. I said, this the best time to ask Whitney Houston some real shit. I said, did Ike and Tina have anything on you and Bobby Brown? She said, hell no. They didn't have shit on us. I just want to tell y'all, man, the whole time I was on that journey, I was delusional. And I just like to tell y'all that it's okay to be delusional. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you gotta be delusional. You gotta be out of your motherfucking mind to be successful, to become great. You gotta be blissful. Delusion comes from trauma. It comes from not being accepted. So whatever you gotta do to make it, to become who you need to become, stay delusional. I'm Mike Epps, man. I love y'all.